All right, it is 7:17. A look at traffic. A crash Fair Oaks Boulevard at Wellworth Lane. And an accident 18th in Q in the downtown. Traffic brought to you by Zero Res. Well, I've got to go. Look who it is. It's Dan in Sonoma. Dan?
Sean, that was your best Reagan impersonation. It was pretty good. Good inflection. Not bad at all.
The only thing wrong with that is that I wasn't trying to sound like Reagan. I was trying to sound like a DJ from the 70s on a station I used to listen to. And he used this very song every time he signed off. And he would go,
I like it.
And the first thing he would always say was, well, I've got to go. And then he'd go on for 3 or 4 minutes just rambling, and it was funny, and people tuned in just to listen to that. It was Chuck Roy on 1240 Croy. That's who it was.
Oh, wow, that's great. That's awesome, as Dan from Elk Grove would say. A couple of things on the call prep board, and then a very special announcement. You notice, Sean, that the media has dropped something regarding when they always talk about climate change or global warming. They used to say man-made climate change, man-made global warming. They've dropped that. And it may mean nothing to anybody else, but it means something to me. And I think that they're maybe reeling because they know there's no solid evidence to prove that. And the UN says it, but again, they also don't have any evidence to prove it. We know that, for example, the what Katie Grimes had reported sometime last year, 1,500 or more actual climate scientists told California's legislature there is no climate crisis. So again, just keep a sharp eye on that, because again, they've destroyed so many things and again ended so many lives because of this global warming farce and this false science. I keep saying there's government approved science, and that's what this global warming thing is based on, government approved science. And these 1,500 or so scientists used actual science to say, hey, there's nothing to be alarmed here.
Yes, an excellent observation. They have dropped the man-made. And that is important. Thank you for pointing that out, Dan.
Well, that's kind of what I do.
And
again, I'm also see that people. History has always repeated itself in so many ways. For example,
has to. No one listens.
What's that?
Has to. No one listens.
That's true. That's why history repeats itself. In the 1800s, we had the gay 90s. And in the 1990s, we had the gay 90s. It was a very different kind of gay 90s, thanks in large part to a certain group. And Tony Fauci, by the way, we have him to thank for that.
Yuck.
And we had the Roaring '20s in the last century. And as President Trump takes the reins of the economic situation here, we're going to have the Roaring '20s again, starting in about a year or so.
So are we going to have a big crash at the end of the decade then?
If Democrats get in, yeah. Or if Madam Kneepads would have got in, yeah, that would have happened. But we have some good times ahead of us. And, I want to, end on a positive note because, for you and Dan from Elk Grove, we always love to quote songs. The future's so bright, we got to wear shades.
Got to wear shades. Yeah, getting good grades. The future's so bright. You got to wear shades.
It's going to be a great few years, no question about it. But, I want to end some time for you. You have a special announcement, and let's get into that right now.
Well, that's my special announcement. That's why I'm playing this song. Well, I've got to go. Because tomorrow is my last day with KTKZ. I will be gone. I will be out of here, moving down the road to other adventures. And I will miss everyone greatly. It's a sad time for me, actually. But anyway, that's the news. That is the news.
So tomorrow you and I will have our last conversation together. And it will be sad. I'm sentimental as anything, so it's going to be tough for me as well.
You are, Dan.
But how long have you been in radio, Sean?
In radio? Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Started in the 70s. Over 40 years. Over 40 years. Yeah. And here, doing the morning, 10 years.
Wow. Yeah.
So, yeah.
You, my friend, are going to be missed. And again, we'll talk about this with Sarah Goodbyes tomorrow, but you are a class act and a true gentleman. And this is something I don't say very often. You're my friend.
Thank you, Dan. As Tower of Power would have said, it's so very hard to go. All right.
All right, bud. Talk to you tomorrow.
Have a splendid day, sir. Dan in Sonoma, a fine American.